What's up E3 beta fans, it's Geigen here, and welcome to the Left 4 Dead 2 Beta Pack 2.3 patch notes video. This is also my first patch note video for this project, so I hope this information helps for those who are looking for more details on the 2.3 changes. Firstly, let's talk about the Last Stand update. We understand that the Last Stand team did an excellent job maintaining Left 4 Dead 2's relevancy with new content such as maps, weapons, voice lines, etc. With that said, most of those changes strongly conflict with the beta pack's scripts and operations, so as obvious, we disabled all new melee weapons and Counter-Strike weapons so this project meets historical accuracy requirements. In the past, modder Ian created a Left 4 Dead 1 list formatted menu UI layout to replicate best what the E3 demo offered to its players. Obviously, in the real E3 demo, not every mode was selectable simply because it was only a demo. With that said, the assistant manager of the beta pack, Aizen, and I dedicated to use Ian's menu and take it a step further by making an exact replica of what the demo had. This means we removed all non-demo game modes such as Versus, Scavenge, Survival, Realism, etc. And to promote even further accuracy, we disabled viewing achievements too, as there wasn't such a thing at the demo's time. However, the only non-E3 related menu that is, however, remaining is the add-ons menu, listed under extras. This way you can disable any outside mods as necessary. Many questions were raised on why we choose to limit players' gameplay options to just what the pack requires. Well, that's precisely why we limited it, because the beta pack, similar to the E3 demo, only functions off single player and campaign local servers. Back then, our team had no methods of forcing players to play what the beta pack requires to work correctly. Finally, we can prevent players from worrying about significant conflicts with the mod in non-supported game modes and risk bugging out their game. And we can do all of this while completing our team's mission, promoting accuracy as much as possible. In short, it's a win-win situation, and we feel is an excellent addition to the mod. Make sure that any menu mods are disabled prior to starting up the beta pack, or this will be the reason why it crashes on startup. For the longest time, Lieutenant Rocky's Left 4 Dead 1 animation ports were the necessary experience for the Left 4 Dead 2 beta. However, it was evident that Nick's view models were not at all shaped as they should have. Why was this? The Survivor view models were removed and completely changed once Valve released new animations for every weapon in the game. Luckily for us, Valve, much like most of their unused content, also left this behind. Modder Hex has been working on this project and was kind enough to lend me his E3 Nick arms early. These arms are the exact view models used in the E3 demo, and finally they made their way back into Left 4 Dead 2 through the Left 4 Dead 2 beta pack. Lieutenant Rocky's animations for his shotguns had a Left 4 Dead 1 animation sequence. However, the Spaz and Chrome shotguns used the alternate reload animations instead of the base reloads. This became an issue for most players because it wasn't the most consistent method of how shotguns operated in Left 4 Dead 2. While those alternate reloads were present in the E3 demo, they were not the commonly used since players knew to reload before a clip went entirely empty. Why? Because if you had an empty clip of a shotgun, then that means you were penalized with an excessively long reload animation instead. Modder Rise developed the base shotgun animations for both the Spaz and Chrome shotguns. As necessary, they are both now added into the pack for all players to use. With adding Nick's E3 arms, we began to take into consideration that there are two versions of the Left 4 Dead 2 beta's era, the developer testing era and the player testing era. Since we wish to replicate the player testing period of Left 4 Dead 2, the pack will now use the second beta alarm instead of the first one. We used the first beta alarm in previous iterations, but again, that's not historically accurate to the time in which we are trying to replicate for all players. As you can see through the gameplay, we are utilizing the Left 4 Dead 1 font. This is because the beta also utilized this font, most likely due to Valve not developing the Left 4 Dead 2 Future Rot font just yet. We added the Trade Gothic font files into the beta pack, but this will not immediately enable it upon starting it up. To make this work, players must go into their video settings, change their video window to any other option, which will trigger the font, and then, of course, set it back to what you originally had. It is a little tedious to do this every time, but this is how we managed to make it work. It is not required, but it does help with the overall atmosphere of the E3 demo, as the font also takes place in-game as well. Left 4 Dead 2 beta utilized zero menu music, as Left 4 Dead 2's soundtrack was very minimal at that time. With that said, we believe taking out the menu music was the best decision for an accurate representation of the E3 main menu. Therefore, all main menu music has been removed in this patch. For the longest time, footage has shown how powerful melee weapons used to be upon the creation of this game. Commons and specials were easily knocked around like simple ragdolls, upon getting killed by a melee weapon, that is. In other words, the impact was very substantial. The final release of Left 4 Dead 2 sadly removes such a powerful knockback. For this patch, we managed to add that back by merely changing the script values and making both the fire axe and frying pan back to their original powerful selves. Beta Pack modder Crystal Gem also managed to fix a lost sound error with the fire axe, as 3 fire axe files replaced with the E3 standard sound did not correctly play. We managed to fix this minor issue and fix those sound files completely. Crystal Gem will also use this fix in his separation edition of the Axe Sound mod as well as the Left 4 Dead 2 Beta Pack. Both survivors, Ellis and Rochelle, have been using their retail gestures throughout the course of the Beta Pack's life cycle. However, this isn't necessarily correct, as Ellis used Bill's survivor gestures and animations, and Rochelle had a mixture of Zoe and Bill's gestures and animations. Thanks to modder Rise, we managed to incorporate Bill's animations for Ellis and Zoe's animations for Rochelle. The Left 4 Dead 1 loading bar occasionally had many glitches with the loading screen. Most of the time, it would drastically increase in size and completely ruin the bar's proportion. Luckily, we managed to fix the bar and scale it back to its standard ratio. Much like the last patch, we will also be exclusively releasing the 2.3 online edition on game maps. The changes are E3 Nick Arms, Charger sound modification, Spaz and Chrome shotgun reloads, second E3 alarm, removal of the menu music, fire axe fixes, Left 4 Dead 1 loading bar fix, Left 4 Dead 1 font, and the concept style jockey. Due to the limitations of the online edition, this version will not include the main menu UI, Zoe animations for Rochelle, Bill animations for Ellis, melee knockback values, and the removal of newly introduced melee weapons and Counter-Strike weapons. That concludes the patch notes for the Beta Pack version 2.3. Please stay tuned for more additional content pertaining to the Left 4 Dead 2 Beta and Left 4 Dead 2 Beta Pack. I also want to thank everyone for my ratings and support that I managed to receive on my latest videos and content. If you haven't already, please feel free to rate up my videos and subscribe. Thanks again for watching. I hope to see you all soon.